So earlier today.
Only 7 minutes off. That's not bad. That's
Lucky number 7.
See, we don't have to pretend. We can make fun of something right off the bat. It's just the way it is.
All right, there we go.
And
We got quiet.
how we looking?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Theory Thursday live chat, episode 2. We're here with our panel here, and I also want to remind everybody, if you have any questions for the guys, I'll be monitoring the feed at the same time. So type your comments in the comment section, and I'll get back to you and relay them to the guys.
Wow.
Wow, that was an introduction.
That was quite an intro.
Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm MikeRuggirello. We have a fantastic situation going here. Look at this. We got Mr. San Diego, Bart Mendoza himself, writer and rock and roller. Also, Tim Pyles, legendary
Raconteur.
raconteur.
I like that. I'll take that.
Oh, that's
I did
good.
say the mayor of local music.
Mayor of local music.
I noticed you don't have any notes, so I'll just go with it.
Last time I had notes, I got crucified. But welcome, both of you gentlemen. This is exciting. We've been anticipating this for a while. Also, some special love to Mr. Spike Mike sitting on back here, and Mr. Co-host.
Fully clothed.
Yes, he is.
No cod pieces tonight.
So lots of things to respond to. But this is the celebrity death match, which there's no death implied. It's just more or less lots of good conversation. And to have both of you in the same room is quite the privilege. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
Because we really don't get along that well,
Yeah,
so
it's
this
just
is
that
amazing.
this guy's like-
Because we will have a death match, believe me.
That's what we're promoting.
He's pro Captain and Tennille. I go the other way. I just can't help it.
Muskrat love, baby.
It's the only kind of love there is.
So you may see me being a little bit twitchy and nervous. I'm used to having the good old crutch of the guitar in my lap.
Why am I here? That's right. Isn't this about people that know how to play an instrument?
It is.
Okay.
But which is interesting. You know, Bart knows how to play.
Yes, he does.
I know that you've been on stage and you've played certain instruments.
I've even been able to be in his band for many years now on occasion.
Yep.
I go in and sit in on one song.
And what did you do for that?
We sing backup on
Yeah,
Come See Me.
Come see me. But banana seeds.
Oh.
Okay, this man played drums. I haven't seen him play since the Jim McGinnis. I don't want to say memorial, but when he
It
got
was like a celebration of his time
yeah,
at KGB.
At KGB,
Which,
25
by the way,
years.
he's back there now.
It's funny how the world
Yeah.
works, but yeah. But anyway, he did play at the Catamaran.
Catamaran, which is a
Bar.
place I got fired from, actually. So it was kind of funny to perform on that stage after.
What'd you get fired for?
I think I had control of all the. I had the keys.
I see
to
a problem
places.
already.
So maybe me and some busboys got busted drinking some beer. I don't know.
Oh,
Something to that effect.
Nothing terrible. At least that's what they caught me on.
That was a fun bar, though.
Yeah,
That
it was.
a
It
fun
was. Saw the
place, yeah.
Toasters play there, and yes, that was a privilege because for me, that was an opportunity. John Reese was there. I mean, that's pretty much the epitome. John Reese from Rocket from the Crypt was there, and he complimented our band. So
That was a fun place.
I was done.
Also, I remember from the mid-'70s, the Catamaran is where the Knack tried out the material for Get the Knack before they did the big showcase gigs in LA. So they were playing Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's just. It's
Haven't seen a good show there in many years. Who plays there now? Rockola? No, that's.
No. Actually,
that's-
I think that what used to be the bar there is now a day spa, but they still have luau's out on the sand.
Good to
there.
know.
So, there you go.
The things you learn.
Speaking of venues, we were chatting about something briefly outside.
Yeah.
What's the name of this place?
Himmelberg's.
Oh,
Himmelberg's.
yeah, downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
just there last week.
It's part of a group of restaurateurs. They own the patios, so there's like different patios. I think there's a La Jolla patio. But they had this place downtown called Harvest, and it looks like they've reimagined it. Himmelberg's is a person that somebody they knew, and he passed away, and he was a lover of music, rock and roll, and all that.
He was owner of Joe and Andy's.
Is that it?
Yeah, and
Okay.
that's what that's where
Yeah.
my first start gig playing.
So Himmelberg's is now open, and I think they're doing bands on the weekend. Some of our friends are already
Yeah, they're already
playing
doing a lot
there.
of live
and-
music there.
And it's all ages. That's kind of an interesting thing. I mean, I don't know. The whole scene across the board is changing in San Diego, and it's happening really quickly. And I don't even. It's just really interesting. You know, a lot of these venues that we've known. You know, Bart would never. He would probably not play Navajo live. I mean, it wouldn't be on his list. But now I'm sure it is on his list. You know, I mean, it's kind of weird. These places are transitioning in San Diego, and it's happening on a county-wide scale.
You're absolutely right. All the different areas are starting to come together, and now there's a really vibrant scene in South Bay. There didn't used to be. And there's always been bands in South Bay, a couple of bars that had live music, but now there's a really cohesive scene. East County's really come into its own lately. You know, it helps a lot too that we've got a lot of new promoters in town as well. We got the old, I don't want to say old, but the veterans of the scene like Catherine Beeks and
But these
Tim
new
Sutton.
ones are interesting because they don't have the same opinions that those of us have been around for a long time. So they're not afraid to go to these places. You know, it's an opportunity, and I think that's really interesting because, I think people want something in their neighborhood too.
I'll single out two people from each area, Emily Bartell on East County and Vanya Zamora, particularly in South Bay. Although Vanya's got shows all over the place. But they've made a real difference in getting really good bands into these venues and getting the word out about it, because it doesn't do any good if nobody goes.
Yeah.
So, and people are going to these shows.
But it's weird that these places, like there's one in Lemon Grove called Dirk's Nightclub. I mean, I remember going there years ago, and it was called Dirk's Horseshoe Lounge. And it just looked like it could have been a place that would have cool bands. Fusebox could play there. But it was kind of a cover place. But I think Emily or Vanya now, they've approached this place. So it's across the board. changing.
Friday, Saturday
Salty
nights.
Frog. I mean, just the same
Met
thing.
that owner. I mean, it's a lot of the transition, you know.
So at Himmelberg's, for instance, is that going to promote original music on Fridays and Saturdays?
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's not cover bands. No way.
So cover bands are not allowed?
No, it's not that they're not allowed. I'm sure they'll have things from time to time.
But they'll be at the back of the line like Tuesday or Wednesday nights.
Well, right now they're only doing shows on the weekends, and
that's kind of like the patio line.
it's a tough sell when there's no baseball, and you're gonna expect people to go to that East Village area. There's already been a few places that have failed down there, you know.
Well, it is
Tilted
baseball
Kilt.
season.
So right now,
Well, yeah.
But moving forward, you know, hey, there's not a lot of places for all ages kids to go see shows, so that
especially
could be
downtown.
a selling point, you know.
Especially downtown.
You know, one more dynamic to this conversation.
Yes.
Cabaret license. So I've heard that in San Diego that they stopped issuing cabaret license. So whatever venue has them, it's up to the owner to use it or not.
Well, I don't know that that's actually true or not.
What we can say, though, we were talking about is a community like Carlsbad, which has had this archaic law, which didn't allow for live music. They just changed that law, so you know you're gonna see some changes. There's wine bar, there's all kinds of stuff up there.
So that's what it's strange to me. Like if there's a brand new establishment, like actually like new concrete walls, like new businesses going up, and they have music and they can sell alcohol. I mean that.
Well,
clearly...
that's what makes them succeed. That they're serving food. It's not just a venue.
Yeah. It's got
There's a whole business model. Like people are going to eat there, and the music's just something I guess they're doing on the weekend. If it succeeds, then they might do it more.
Well, I know both of you go out a lot, and when I say a lot, these two gentlemen are responsible for many, many things here in San Diego as far as advocating shows, getting musicians on the stages that they need to be on. Wink, wink. We haven't done shit for you guys. Other than that, silly blur, because there'll be many of them. What's more important, I keep addressing the crowd like it's almost like a typical Theory Thursday show. I'm used to doing that.
The studio audience, you got to at least acknowledge them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike.
Yay!
But,
you get a car. You get a car.
Give him a blanket as well. But where I was going is, man, I lost my train of thought. It had to do with booking. You guys are out a lot. Like
Sure.
I was asking Tim earlier, how many days a week are you on the radio? Tim said something like 6 days a week. You have 1 day off, man. You were a machine. Good work.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Bart, you are cut from the same cloth. If you're not writing
I'm at a show.
an article, he's either at a show or writing a song.
Or playing.
Or doing something.
So-
Yeah, I've got this condition where I don't sleep a lot. Okay, so I only do maybe 4 hours a day.
Of sleep?
Sleep, yeah. So rather than just kind of waste time, if I'm not working on one project, I work on a different one. And so it's like even when I don't feel well, if I'm sick, which happens a bit, I can be sick at home or I can be sick watching a band. So I'll just go see a band. It's like, I'll leave the house anyway. Unless it's like
contaminating
something,
the other musicians.
No, obviously not if it's something contagious, obviously. But yeah,
You just feel compelled to be out there sharing. You also are a fan. You like watching
I
music.
love music. I love a lot of local bands in particular, but a lot of bands just in general. And so I see no greater purpose for my life than being out there promoting music and doing what I do. So if I'm not at a show, I'm writing. That's basically it.
I love that.
Yeah,
I
so-
really love that. It's fair to say that both of you provide that, and it's quite a responsibility.
Well, yeah,
when
but-
you're around them, you're happier.
But also, I mean, I look at responsibility. I don't know, but I personally look at it as a blessing because there are times when I've got a pile of CDs I got to listen to because, like, right now I got
Tim pile of CDs.
Yep.
Well, like for example, right now I've got a review. I'm sitting there listening to the Zombies box set. It's, the new box set that just came out, and this is my job. And I'm thinking I feel guilty about this. You
feel guilty?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like this is what I'm going to be paid for, to listen to the Zombies, my all-time favorite band, next to the Beatles. This is what I do for a living. I get to go see the Banana Seeds live.
Cheers to that.
That kind of thing. So it's kind of hard to think of it as work. I just think I kind of.
What do they say? Find something to do that you love, and it never feels like work.
Well, it certainly does not feel like work.
Yeah.
Some deadlines on Monday, maybe
just-
a little bit, but
Right,
not so
right.
much.
Maybe by the time you're 30, just realize what you're good at. And,
Well,
and
hopefully
stick
by the
to
time
that.
I'm 30, that'll
Did you say
come
by
up.
the time we're 30? Thank
That
you.
ship sailed a long time ago. It was old and creaky and wind-driven.
We even went to the same high school. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
I grew up in the community. He came from the barrio.
Yeah, I was busted, man.
Wow, yeah,
That was.
cool.
It
But we're
was.
both Vikings.
Yeah, we're both Vikings. La Jolla High School, a great place to go, and still got a lot of friends.
I knew his sister more than I didn't even know him, but Mary Esther Mendoza, I remember her.
Wow.
So
And
we're in
then the
same
two
grade.
brothers I become friends. I mean, we were in a scooter club together. We have a long
Long history.
standing
Of course.
history and
And then, of
bond.
course, and then
This
my,
is incredible.
luckily, my mom became the attendance secretary at La Jolla High School after I graduated. Because that would have
Really?
really sucked. We spent a lot of time at the beach. Yeah, so yeah.
Cool. You
Too
guys
funny.
are just beach kids. I was a beach kid myself. I grew up in South Mission in the 80s. In fact, I remember I had OP shorts on, my first GNS skateboard. I'm skating past my court, Allerton Court, approaching some other court, and I heard my friend talk about mentioning that Randy Rhoads just died. Like, I have vague memories.
We got in
Wow.
fights with people like you back then, I think.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
like
Yeah.
the metal dudes.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
There were tribes back then.
Yeah.
I like that Tim said that, because that almost creates a segue in another question. However, we'll get there, because I think it's fair to say, as far as genre goes, I'm like, I do like and try to be responsible for other genres of music as far as guitar. But if I'm going to be associated as a musician, I probably get looked at, or maybe as far as my guitar chops are presented, I'm more of a metal guy, or at least hard rock. However, you're the mod and you're the punk.
Well, I was a mod then.
And in
but-
the 80s,
We're both mods.
You were a punker.
Yeah.
You're both
Well,
mods.
Yeah.
We're both mods.
You seem more, okay,
Mod the
let's
punk.
talk
I had
about what's
hair.
the difference.
Yeah.
What
yeah.
was the difference
Well,
in the 80s?
Look at this guy. I mean, he's lived and breathed and been that. I mean, in my court, that's my fraternity. These guys are my brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, the guys that I hung out with in the 80s riding scooters with are still my best friends today.
He actually has a scooter.
Yep.
You still have it?
A Vespa?
Vespa.
It's a Bajaj.
A
They look
Bajaj.
exactly like the Vespas. They're made in India. But what makes mine special is it's been signed by like the godfathers of that music scene. Most importantly, Paul Weller from the Jam. I happened to be out
Dude,
side of
would
his
you
bus.
sign my scooter
Yeah.
like that's a thing?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and then
Oh, yeah.
over
Wow.
the years, I've had a bunch of two-tone bands. The Specials, Bad Manners,
All
the
signatures?
Selector. Yeah, because
Wow.
there's a piece of the scooter very easily to take off. I could carry with me.
So
my
it's
cowl.
kind of like, wow, how cool.
It
That
was
kind
like
of,
like a pickguard on the guitar.
yeah.
totally, that's sweet.
So yeah, that I mean, ultimately, I wouldn't say I go to a lot of ska shows anymore, but that was my world. I was like the two-tone ska kid. He would have been more the Beatles,
The Who.
The Who. I mean,
Kinks, yeah.
we all shared the
Yeah.
same love of music, but there were within the mod scene. It would be funny because you'd have him in the suits, you'd have us wearing just jeans and Doc Martens and flight jackets, and then you'd have what we called kind of the craw mods or the psych mods, and that would be more the 60s psych. But we were all, and we all got along. I mean,
Yeah,
it
so
was all part of the same group of people.
Right.
But there were kind of three different music genres within it, in a way.
Wow.
Kinda cool.
Subgenres.
Those are some cool
Sounds fun.
details that I wasn't very hip to.
Well, it's interesting too because I mean the way I see it, and this is of course my rose-colored glasses, but the sound of San Diego in a lot of ways really is kind of garage rock. It's big. I mean, from the Beat Farmers to Rocket from the Crypt to Hiroshima Mockingbirds, you can actually kind of follow a line, kind of like
Schizophronics.
Schizophronics. It's all kind of in that. It's a wide umbrella. It's a big
Yeah.
umbrella, right? But still, yeah, there's a lot to be said for
Probably
that.
my favorite band from that
Loons?
era is the best band. You got to get their album All Black and Hairy, but
Oh,
Gravedigger 5.
Gravedigger 5.
Wow.
Like when you think of all this stuff going on now with the Burger Records scene, it's kind of a 60s garage rock genre. I mean,
Yeah, there is a
a lot of that type of music within that Burger Records family, and then like what's going on here, like Schizophonics and the Hiroshima Mockingbirds, and how huge, you know, psychedelic rock is. I mean, to Well, or Wild Wild Wets, who are a little more, you know, ethereal psychedelic music. You know, where Schizophonics are in your face.
But I feel ethereal right when Pat starts going off in his guitar solos. He's resurrecting.
Yeah.
Well, it's a Hendrix thing kind of thing to me.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, he's tapped into
It's
Jimi
wonderful.
Hendrix and
Love you, Pat.
James Brown.
James
like
Brown.
Yeah.
I mean, he really is.
It's,
I mean, there's nobody like
Yeah,
him.
exactly.
And
what
you know what?
Neat bridge there. It's
20
sporty.
years ago, I feel like if he came out at a different time, he could. I think he's amazing.
He
he's
really is
he's
amazing.
a rock star.
Agree.
But what really makes the difference, because there are bands that have that sound, not that kind of show, because that's a hell of a show, but they have that kind of sound, but also their songs really resonate, and they keep cranking out really hard rockin' tunes that do the job over and, you know, good songwriters too, so they got to throw that in there.
New Zealand and Australia for the first time. They just came back from Europe.
But you know what? San Diego exports a lot of great rock and roll. I mean, the Loons are in Spain right now.
Yeah.
So I mean,
San Diego is also
Well, he's a rock star in Spain.
that's what I've heard. Yeah.
Like, they
Somebody
really
told me about-
love the San Diego sound. When you talk about an area of the
they do.
country, they love the San Diego bands,
San
like
Diego
the
band.
Loons, like Manual Scan, like Schizophonics. And so
That
there's-
must be really cool. Have
Yeah.
you gone to Spain and been
He has.
celebrated maybe a bit? Wow.
Celebrated? Yeah. I don't drink anymore, but I did
Well,
once. I did
being-
once upon a time.
I
Yes.
meant,
Speaking
like,
of which,
you being a guest and whoever was taking you in, and did you play music there? Were people
Yes,
ever respond to Manual Scan? Like in,
Because he went there a couple times. He had that super group there. When
yeah, I've been there actually a bunch of times. First time I went over with Ray Brandis of the Telltale Hearts, and we did a bunch of acoustic solo stuff. Did a bunch of dates with that, and had backed by Los Imposibles, a Spanish band, on a couple shows. Then we went over with the Riot Act, which was the super group you're talking about, which was Hector Penalosa from the Zeros, myself, Pete Meester from the Telltale Hearts, Ray Brandis from the Telltale Hearts, and Victor Penalosa, Flaming Groovies now. And then the Shambles went over, and then Manual Scan was over in 2015.
Dang,
and
dang.
we should be heading over again. We have a new record coming out, Manual Scan does, sometime this summer. It's going to be paired with a new event record.
I'm glad you mentioned that
Nice.
because I
Love that.
think, Dave, we got a picture ready. Bart had a nice post earlier this week about it was really nice, that mixing picture. I went ahead and took that.
Okay,
And I think we can generate. Yeah, it's up. Okay, thank you, Dave.
Okay.
So that shot.
Okay.
Talk about the shot.
Okay, this is going to be funny. Where's the picture?
It's,
It's coming up in a
Oh,
second.
you know what? I'm sorry,
it's
man.
not on it. He doesn't
Okay.
have it up.
So
Well-
we haven't gotten any questions, but
Okay, here's the comedy bit about this, and I think Spike and Mike knows the joke of this. Okay, that is not a San Diego studio as far as I'm aware of. I'm not recording currently with Alan Sanderson. That post has nothing to do with me, except it brought me a lot of amusement because.
Brought me quite some.
Well, because I'm
That's
watching.
studio.
Well, that's a
Where's
great
the
studio.
picture?
We're having trouble loading on,
there it
the
is.
monitor.
There it
here.
is. So.
Who's the dude behind?
That's Alan Sanderson at the board, and I believe that is Colin Klein standing behind him. And if
is.
that's Colin, who's a good friend of ours,
There it is. So that's the
okay,
shot.
that's the shot. If that's Colin, that may be a studio possibly in Atlanta.
Oh my God.
Because Allen's doesn't have a board like that.
And no, and it doesn't have a door on the side right there either. So no, but the reason it's still up and everything is because this does happen from time to time, and unless it's something serious, I don't really care. But people post stuff, and it's got nothing to do with me whatsoever. And they run. These things run, and I find it kind of funny. And so I saw all these likes and loves, and so I'm glad that people think I'm working with Alan in Atlanta right now and Colin's singing backup, but that's not the case. That's just a fake news, a random photo
news.
somebody just posted. Now, funny enough,
It is you.
No.
Sitting in the chair.
no.
That's Alan Sanderson.
Sound Sanderson.
Local
I've got
engineer,
nothing to
producer.
do with this. The funny thing is, we are finishing up 2 EPs, but it's got nothing to do with this. And we're not in the studio. We're actually just kind of like mastering and mixing up a couple things.
So go ahead and take that picture down, Dave.
It's down.
it's down.
Okay, so anyway, it's funny because I mentioned this to Spike Mike earlier, how people had been fooled by this and how I thought it was hilarious, and so here we are.
I hit love on it too myself. So it
Okay,
got me.
so it's
What's
just
not
like,
to love about it?
what's not to like?
you know,
That's why I
fortunately-
thought it was funny.
I'm used to feeling foolish on our show.
There's
so
nothing
it's
to
not
feel
a big
foolish
deal.
about. It's
kind of our modus operandi, really.
You know what?
Isn't this a comedy show?
It's
Yeah,
trying
it
to.
Look, the guy. It's like,
Unintentionally.
it's like
It's the best
somebody
kind,
said,
right?
you made a great sandwich last night, and people hit like. Okay, like I didn't make a sandwich last night, but it's like, okay, sure. It's just,
By the way,
it's
that
a random-
cheeseburger post I did was true and in real time.
Have you been to the Friendly?
I have.
Oh,
I
Love
like
the
that
Friendly.
place. It's a good place.
Not only is the
Brandon,
pizza fantastic, but the burger is probably one of the best in San Diego.
I agree.
Which
By
place?
far. Friendly.
Spot over here by Fall Brewing called the
30,
Friendly.
right
But
next
you
to
wouldn't
Fall.
even know they have a burger. It looks like a pizza joint.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have pizza, already partially cooked, but then you look on the board. So if you went there and nobody explained to you, you might not see it, but there's this burger. And you can't change the order.
No
you can't ask them to
substitutions.
take it. Yeah, no substitution. And it's an awesome burger. It's a greasy one. And they're not huge, but
they butter the buns
Yeah,
and
that's really
toast
good.
them.
I'm a burger fan.
There's a little mayo.
Yeah.
There's some fried
Aioli,
onions.
garlic aioli.
Garlic
yeah.
aioli.
Oh,
Yeah.
good stuff.
And man, I've eaten 2 in a row before.
I have too.
I mean, you feel like you're this part of my jaw starts going numb. Like there's too much butter in my body.
It's so good though.
It is. Wow, we just segued into a little bit of a burger
Yeah.
There
situation.
why.
you go.
Yeah,
So,
thank you.
one of the things coming up that's of interest that we're both involved in is Art Around Adams. And this year, Tim is going to help us out with the stage. And
If I make it to a meeting,
well, yes, if he makes it to a meeting. Hey, there's pizza there. You should.
Really?
Yeah, there's always been pizza. I should have probably.
Tiger Pizza? Or,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Tiger,
Blind
Tiger?
Lady.
Blind Lady
We're
pizza.
meeting at
Yeah,
Blind
yeah,
Lady.
yeah. That's where the pizza is.
Is it next Wednesday?
Yes.
How many stages are you guys responsible for? Like 2
Uh,
or 3?
Well, altogether, I believe there's going to be, and stages is kind of a loose phrase because there are outdoor stages,
Right.
but a lot of the venues are actually, they're inside, restaurants and bars, and like Lestat's will have music inside.
I like the
Rabbit Hole will.
church.
The church will also have music and stuff. Timothy Joseph is playing there. So yeah, June 1st from noon to 8 o'clock. There'll be probably about 18 spots with music, and we're also looking if anybody out there's an entertainer that is doesn't do music, magicians, jugglers, hula hoop, codpiece cleaners. What was that?
Isn't
Codpiece
there
cleaner?
a new designation of a stage there this year? An adult stage, I had.
Yes, there is. Actually, it's a good point you brought up.
Exotic dancers?
Exotic
What?
dancers. Well, actually, there's going to be
Burlesque?
probably no burlesque, but there is going to be an adult stage this year, which is going to be in the Ken. So we're going to have, yeah. 'cause
What happened?
We lost
Feel
our
free to-
sponsor.
iconic.
We just lost our sponsor.
That's funny.
Okay, that's
I want
hilarious.
Pony Death Ride on my stage.
Pony Death Ride is already going to be
Oh,
there, and they're going to
wow.
be hosting the Smitty stage.
Pony Death
Gotcha.
Pony Death
good
Ride.
name.
So yeah, this year a couple of things that are different. One is the Over 21 stage, which is going to have Ted Washington, spoken word, the gentleman from the Casbah. Spice Pistols are going to be headlining it. Got Black Hesher, we got Maruja, and more coming up there.
Who is Black Hesher?
You want to take that one, Spike?
Yeah, Black Asher is a rap act that I hate to compare acts because they do their own thing and they have some really nice
He said doo-doo.
visual effects that they involve with little costuming and stuff like that. But an exceptional rising hip hop star, and it's 3 guys that get up and do their thing. And they're really, really entertaining. I'm a personal endorser of their act. Cult Music, Black Asher Online.
Thank you.
There you go. And then the other difference this year is that there's going to be, not the whole day because it's a long day, but there's going to be hosts at the stage. So we've got a lot of power pop going on at DeMillie's as usual with Alvino and the Dwells and Nico. And we got the Armoires coming down from LA. And Steve Thorne from the Troubadour is going to be hosting that. Pony Death Ride is going to be hosting the Smitty stage, and that's got the Sleepwalkers, it's got Jason Hannon and the Bullfighters, Manual Scan, and a bunch of other bands as well. And Cherry Blue Storms from LA with Glenn Laughlin from the Dickies is the guitar player in that. He used to be in the Dickies anyway. And then, of course, Tim Pyles is going to be hosting the main stage.
Oh, it's a main stage?
Yeah, you got the big stage.
Oh,
Yeah.
where is it?
It's that's a good question, actually. The main
I
stage.
don't need many details.
Yes.
You get to come out and MC between bands.
Well, I'm helping to book some bands, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
You can get you a
Yeah,
Fuse
yeah.
Box
Yeah.
T-shirt.
The main stage is going to be in the field, and there's going to be a lot of rides and stuff around you. So it's kind of cool.
Cool.
Yeah. So
Love rides.
What's your favorite? I wouldn't call it fair food. I guess you would call it boulevard food. What's going on there? I mean, it's not a burger segment, but like, what's good? They got all kinds of stuff.
On Adams Avenue?
Yeah.
okay, I got.
I like the homemade the ice cream spot.
Yeah, Mariposa ice cream. That's
They
the
make ice cream.
yeah,
Mariposa.
Mariposa ice cream.
Mariposa.
That's a good. Every time I got to get my cone.
They're right next to Kent Club, right?
No, they're across from across from
Those
Smitty's.
people get their ice cream from somewhere else. They don't make ice cream. Mariposa does. It's by the 7-Eleven. Yeah, it's right by
7-Eleven, the Roberto's, and
Right across from Smitty's.
Yeah, across from this. Yeah, great ice cream. So I always go there, and that's really the big difference in between.
So you guys eat ice cream that whole shift.
That's all we. That's all we eat.
It's kind of cool because what's the fruit pop place? Viva Pops is down there too.
Yeah.
There's some great unique businesses on that whole
Totally.
boulevard.
And that's
man.
the difference
crazy.
too, because with this street fair, it's about the existing vendors,
I
people that
see.
are already there, as opposed to bringing in.
Yeah, that
So the
makes
streets
sense.
aren't closed off. It's basically a walk, 2-mile art walk, and. so
Is
forth.
it the restaurants that already have establishment? Is it required for them to come on the street with their product?
No.
No, it's not. It's just more or less
No.
enter.
Yeah, you just enter the thing.
Yeah,
And
because
they'll-
there's no. Yeah, it's not like Adams Avenue Street Fair. I mean, the cars are still driving. There's no little,
There'll be
painters or any kind of vendors.
Yeah, we get pretty big crowds though, so it's
A lot of fun.
Yeah, I really think that
It's really grown.
yeah, on the main stage we're gonna have like bands like Parker Meridian, and bands like the Sleepwalkers are huge draws. So
Talked to
it's
Nathan
good.
Hubbard yesterday. Yeah, we're trying to get Parker in here.
Great
Nice.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, good band.
I just had Nathan Hubbard Trio play the Casbah on Monday with Ted Washington helped me
Really?
book a show.
Oh, cool.
Ted didn't want to book his own band. He did book other bands, the Vaginals and those
The
darn
Vaginals.
gnomes.
I want to be in that.
It was
band.
super noisy and weird and.
I like
uh,
noisy. Noisy
likes
and
to
like
book those
feedback
concerts.
noisy, or noisy as in like weird guitar tone noisy.
Kind of all of that.
Yeah.
It was
You
good.
guys are. Well, that's okay. Both of you guys. both of you
Pretty
book
good. Wow.
bands.
I book bands regularly at the Casbah.
Yeah, and is there a requirement?
And
Do they have to
there you go.
speak?
And it's weird though because I booked a band recently at the Casbah I love, and every single employee there hated them, because the front man was he had a little bit of this Liam Gallagher thing on stage where and I love this, it's perfect. But people in San Diego, it's kind of confrontational and weird, but it was really kind of interesting to me. It's art,
Sure.
and they're not getting it, which was kind of a
But
bummer,
here's a cool thing though, is that's your job, and
Right,
and,
right.
and you essentially educated them at that
Yeah.
moment, whether they like it or not. People come around.
Writing kind of like I see how the crowd is going to take it. When I review a show, it's not necessarily always about what I'm thinking. It's like, well, is the crowd enjoying it? Are they,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. But to actually book a band, I've kind of got to like them. I've got to be into what they're doing, because it's kind of a commitment, especially going to follow through with an out-of-town band.
That's where the prerequisite question comes in. Like, what is it? Because it's a little bit of your own opinion, and it's also you guys are responsible for creating some options for our incredible city here. And what are the 3 requirements?
Well, for me, I have a radio show every Sunday for 3
Loudspeaker.
hours. I'm playing local music on 91X. I probably know a bunch more bands he doesn't know, but I'm giving a lot of bands a chance to get into the Casbah for the first time, obviously. But
And what a
I-
neat experience that is.
They're always
it's
sending
huge.
the access is it in a big way. There is something weird going on. It's kind of fun to have 16-year-olds show up at the Casbah to want to talk to me, and they can't even
And
get in, but they're
They
there.
can't get
And but for me, yeah, it's bottom line. I have to like them, but I don't have to see them. I don't necessarily have to see you first before I would book you, but I gotta like it. And the Casbah's kind of got rules. We don't do reggae, really. We avoid some things over there.
Sure. I mean, that's only.
butt rock.
That's I guess your guys' option or prerogative. Tim Mays is overall like, hey,
Yeah.
umbrella this much, and that's a cool thing. It's fine.
I just had a great conversation with the bar manager there, who's been in bands and been a part of our scene for many years, and I'm always questioning, whether they like the bands or they feel the band's appropriate for the Casbah, and he said he doesn't care anymore. You know what? It's like
He lets you do your thing.
pretty much. He realizes it isn't his world so much anymore, and he needs.
Writing, I'm the first person that covers a lot of people just by default because I cover so many papers. So I write in so many papers. So
we have to be the two people that people reach out to first. Like,
yeah, I
hands
would
down.
have to say, and a lot of times they're asking me how to get a hold of him.
Right.
So yeah,
And people are asking me how to get press coverage.
You know, it's kind of
Yeah.
funny, guys. Jason's created his own cliche for playing at the Casbah.
Yeah.
He, you played the song.
Oh yeah, well,
Rock the
Manganista.
Casbah.
Yeah, we actually did the Clash Out thing there, and we actually were told to play Rock the Casbah at the Casbah, so we did.
And then
Nice.
the
It was Adam. I think
Adam
Gimbel was doing
Oh,
the
Oh,
thing.
it has to be. Yeah,
Yeah.
He's done some
Well, I mean,
amazing
I played
stunts there.
Manganista, probably.
You have a few times.
Adam
Yeah,
Gimbel-
at that show, but
Yeah.
you've had us.
Love Adam.
You've booked
Adam
us a few
pulled off
times.
the greatest, to my mind, the greatest stunt ever there, and he's done some buttes. I've seen him actually like plug. We did a show at the Hard Rock Cafe downtown when they had, and he actually got up on one of the booths and plugged into one of the rare guitars on the wall and started strumming it. So that was a good one. I like that. That was awesome. But at the Casbah one day, they played Back in the USSR. That's just great.
that is
Yeah,
that's
he's
that's
pretty,
something.
He's pretty cool.
There's a
Love
great photo of Adam
got-
Gimbel and Jack Black.
Oh yeah.
You want to
Where-
weigh in? No.
He's got a garbage can with Adam Gimbel's CD in there, and Jack Black's holding it because Jack Black showed up at the Casbah for Urge Overkill.
Really?
People like, well, God, that was 10 years ago,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
something like that. And that was a weird moment. Like, I see a dude coming across the street, and like, yeah, that guy certainly looks a lot like Jack Black. That was Jack Black.
You get that once in a while.
Occasionally. Yeah.
Same thing when Dave
Semantics
Foley was
on
there
stage.
for Elvez not that long
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Well, Florence and the Machine showed up the night before a San Diego show she had once to see this band, Blood Red Shoes. Can't remember. Anyway, it's great to see that happen.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah, I remember running into, is it Nigel Harrison from one of the Frank Infante from Blondie. He's standing there. It's like, oh, what are you doing here?
A lot of people know about the
So
Casbah.
interesting next segment,
Okay.
just to get our audience to get to know you guys on a personal level.
Oh boy.
We'll start with you, Bart. This is just about songs. What are you guys listening to right now? I'm going to ask you too, Mr. Co-host.
All right, I'm
So
listening to a
what
lot.
are you listening to right now? What's cool? What do you like? Because you work a lot. You got the tunes going.
Okay, right now I am knee deep in the Zombies box set, which collects pretty much everything they did on colored vinyl. Wonderful, wonderful thing to have. I've been listening to David Meier's album. The album's name escapes me. He was a former singer in the Merrymakers from Sweden. Been listening to that a lot.
In your form of music or type of listening style, what is it, like CD, tape? You a vinyl guy? How you
It's
doing?
I have digital stuff. Hiroshima Mockingbirds I'm listening to a lot right now too, because Brian, man, that guy can write really, really good garage rock tunes. Superb stuff. And Johnny Tarr quartet I was listening to today.
That's some good stuff.
Johnny Tarr is amazing. He's playing at Park and Rec, I think, on next Friday.
Yeah.
show.
Free show. And I'm trying to think who else. You know, it's just, if you were to look at my office, it's just piles of music everywhere on every sets of headphones on at the same time, so I can toggle in between as I'm doing stuff. I have the earbuds, then the little ones that go over, and then the
That's
bigger ones. And that
amazing.
way I can go between. 'Cause I am.
So no Ritalin. No, you just
I just don't sleep, and I just prefer to stay busy.
you respond to your. Joe
Hard time
Rogan
sleeping.
had a really great sleep therapist on, and there's a very small. No, it's literally 8 or 9 hours.
Yeah.
Right
to get
now-
perfect rest.
Right now,
The number just keeps. They only need 4, but no, they
That's all I
said.
sleep.
I'm constantly doing stuff, and I've got a zillion projects going on. Staring at the sun, for example.
Well, no, I
So, you know,
certainly
so-
wasn't going to make a suggestion.
Full heart.
That's right. Is that Black Beauties? But those are the uppers, right? Those
Yeah.
old.
What an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
We're just moving along.
We have some great memories.
Okay,
what are you
so
listening to,
Tim,
Tim?
what do you?
Okay,
excellent.
so I
excellent
got
stuff.
some bands for you to check
I haven't
out.
heard any of the shit you're.
This other band from Dublin I love called Fontaines DC. They're coming to town with another band I love called Idols.
Great band.
Those bands I mentioned, this other one, Shame, Ice Age. Ice Age is a song called Sports. I cannot get enough of it.
How come?
It's just this. Well, I got wiener dogs as pets, and I just fell in love. Anyway, yeah, dude, that band is
Judah?
so good. Judah.
Judah.
They're from Italy. Giud.
Said riffy like Kiss.
Yeah, a little bit.
Which is cool
It's
because
good. Yeah, I really like them.
party rock.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Like, dude, Robert Smith made me cry, or like none of that shit.
I like some band for me personally within the little being in part of a subculture like the mod scene per se.
friends that respect you per se because of your job, whatever. They making fun of you because you liked every.
The world has kind of moved on from that. In the old days, it was like you like this or you like that.
Like, what do I don't like? I pretty much don't like. I mean, I like everything pretty much. Like, it's like, so I picked up Television's first and second album. So I've been getting on the post-punk thing.
Yeah.
It's like that. I've been really getting into that. Like, I'm even like past, like, I'm even going Queen after Flash Gordon because I'm so tired of the really good stuff. So I'm going like Hot Space.
Again.
Saturday. Yep.
Yeah.
What's Record Store Day?
That is
It's a national holiday, so everybody gets a day off from work, which is nice. The post offices are closed.
Yeah, everything.
Most hospitals and banks.
And
big ones, 7-Elevens are closed
That's
as well
good.
for this. In honor of, so they are now releasing limited edition albums in order to entice people into the shops, and the shops thereafter have sales. I know Record City in Hillcrest always has free food, lots of Twinkies and
Theory's
pizza.
got some stuff going
Is
on.
the model working?
It is. But they're very much creating a market, and I think Vinyl Junkie says Lowell Tolhurst from The Cure.
They're doing DJs all day. Spin Records up in North County. So every record store is doing something cool.
Yeah, and so basically, just
special.
It's like Christmas for record stores specifically, and
Wow,
I think it's a
okay.
great
People line
idea.
up because there's limited pressings. You know, there may be one copy of something
In a store,
each
yeah.
store. Because
What's the date again?
It's this Saturday.
the Saturday.
Yeah, and people just go from shop to shop. You know, to the 13th.
To the 13th. Yes.
It's 2 days away. Today's
Same night as our
Thursday.
show.
Apparently, I'm incredible at math, but only in big, big integers. Big integers? What is
Yeah.
that?
Definitely not good at math. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Drink
Yeah,
up,
the
Buttercup.
Maths are not
Barely
good.
good at speaking. But
What am I?
well, my point was I can probably think about 30 numbers ahead as opposed to 2.
I was just at Vinyl Junkies to see a new album that he had, so I got that
Who?
too. From the sax player from Creedle.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he released an album
Wow.
too, so I picked up that one.
There's no
Jimmy?
Jimmy.
Nice.
So Chema.
Wow.
There's no shortage of
Channel.
great music coming out in San
It's
Diego
good.
right now.
Yeah,
We are
it's
going through a renaissance. There's no doubt about it. There's people moving, Union, Reader, City Beat, SD News, Local Umbrella Media, the radio, 91X, the stations.
San Diego.
San Diego. Everybody's supporting local music and the greater music scene as a whole, and I think that benefits the city. You know, I
Absolutely.
think that is being seen right now in what's going on with Waterfront. I mean, it's just
I'm in the video for
this is a place to be right now.
But
yeah.
it's just weird, like there was a point when the fans were the other people in the other bands in town, I would say in the 90s, But
My favorite site, I check them all, but my favorite site to find out what shows are going on each night, it's kind of cool, is looking at the listings and you keep saying, sold out, sold out, sold out, sold
Wow.
out. You got 4 or 5, all the top clubs, everything. Casbah, Belly Up Tavern, the Music Box.
Observatory, Soda
Soda Bar.
Ironic if they have something.
When they have stuff. Definitely Till 2 in the Tower. They definitely count. I'm trying to think some of the other ones. I got to say, Humphrey's Backstage Lounge is booking a lot more local music, and as well as mixing in national acts. So I see Tommy Two-Tone was just there, was about to be there. And they've got a lot of jazz people coming in as well. So we have Dizzy's. Dizzy's, man.
Love Dizzy's.
And, Panama 66. And.
Navajo Live.
Navajo Live. And
Salty Frog.
The Manhattan.
My
and-
balls.
Yeah,
Right.
so there's just so many.
That's where I wanna
You
play.
rarely ever get an audience for that, though.
Had to.
Really go there?
I had to.
That's what we do here. It's Theory
I thought
Thursday.
I was the one that-
The Manhattan. What else?
It's just, the point being that there's a zillion places and growing. And there's an audience for all this. People are going to shows. And
It's
we
like
just-
that Himmelberg's place. It's
Yeah.
insane that
The patio
something's
scene.
happening and they decided to go that way, and it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. Now, what happened to what's the brewery, Midnight Jack up in North County?
yeah, yeah.
They spent all this money on a brewery and nice place for bands, and they were not even open a year. I think they called it quits, but that'll happen. I mean,
Yeah, it's just
So-
things are going to happen like that. But overall, there's an incredible growth in everything, and on top of that, an acceptance that San Diego is a music town. That it's a big deal to be, for San Diego.
A lot of thoughts are going through my mind when I'm thinking of a scene flourishing. There's these things that happen at a bar. Probably a good sound man, great. Some of the reason the band sounds great, hopefully the sound man's doing his job. Are they paired with the right food truck? Who's, you know what I mean?
But one thing you mentioned though is you said this scene, and one of the things I want to point out that I've observed myself anyway is that when you think of a music scene in history, right? You think about, okay, and I've said this before: San Francisco '67, Liverpool '64, Seattle '91 or whatever, and all these places had a distinctive sound, grunge, the Liverpool Merseybeat sound, whatever. The big difference is San Diego doesn't have that. We have an incredible jazz scene, thanks in part to people like J.P. Balmont and Gilbert Castellanos. We've got an incredible punk scene. We've got a happening mod scene that's recognized all over the world. The blues thing. We've got kids coming out like Anthony Collins now, like that. So there's a lot of different scenes happening at the same time, and
Don't
they're all
forget
vibrant.
Jakey Lee, Craig Goldie.
Well, yeah, but that's before. I'm talking about now.
Okay.
That's like 30 years ago, 40 years ago. We're talking like people like Anthony Collins coming out of, Fallbrook
He's raising
right now.
his hand. We're classes
Yes,
in
sir.
session.
Yes, sir.
You can answer.
So may I ask a question? From my witness, it seems the difference between our scene and other scenes is the unified efforts of the people in the scene to attend as many shows as they can and support their fellows as musicians.
Well,
do you think that's true?
being as I don't live in other places, I can't speak for it exactly, but I will say that I have heard from other bands that are impressed, amazed, or whatever at the cohesiveness of the scene and the fact that people do help each other out. It's not a problem to borrow an amp, get a show, help out, get information or whatever. People here hang out, and it's across scenes. The jazz scene knows the punk guys, and the country guys know. It's just everybody knows everybody. It's very, very tight knit, and that's a very good thing. And yes, cross pollination, which is how we get bands like Parker Meridian. And so
That is a great example.
yes, and on and on and on. You look at the cross pollination as well. It goes other ways too. Like right now, one of the guys from Jason Hanna is now with the Loons. And see, you wouldn't. Okay, well that's still 60s music, but two different angles.
It's interesting.
Like,
Yeah.
Very
How do they know
incestuous in
each
San
other?
Diego. That
Yeah.
is why
Yeah.
you have to be very careful when it comes to dating. Now, I haven't had this experience, but Bart has had many incidences of women fighting over him.
Oh, this
no, I'm
happens.
kidding. But that has been an issue over the years. It is a small.
Don't wear a manual
everybody
scan
knows,
T-shirt at a
everybody
shambles
knows each
gig.
other.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I used to call people out because there's a guy we know, Chris Leva, who would talk this game all the time, and I'm like, dude, we all know you. We all know your game here in San Diego. What are you doing? You're just look like a douchebag. But you know what? That motherfucker has ended up doing more really interesting and weird stuff. I mean, he plays the part, he looks the part, and it's one thing when you get out of San Diego because he can play the game and nobody knows. But
He's traveling.
But yeah, he is traveling a lot, and I got to give the guy credit. He's found a way to live his rock and roll dream, and we did a session with the original drummer for the Beatles because of him.
Yeah.
And
Chris has
wild.
really seriously impressed me with what he's done over the last few years, and I guess he's even living in Liverpool now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. So
Well,
that
that's
was
what
his dream.
passion will do to you.
But I think
Yes, sir.
Bart's inspired him. I mean, he goes and plays these Beatle fests in Tokyo, wherever
As
he
you
did
should.
them.
I think
Yeah.
that's a great
Or I'm
compliment
thinking this
or-
guy should be the one going out there.
Oh, I'm old. My traveling days.
Yeah.
I'm from the covered wagon touring days.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, I know that we started fashionably late musician style time. I wanted to
That were pretty
keep,
good. That
yeah, I
was
wanted
only
to-
7 minutes. That's
Well,
good.
we're almost at 7:57. I wanted to keep our particular episode, this live chat episode 2, right around, good 50 minutes, good hour. But we have an abundance of information and quite, some of these questions that I'm sort of sneaking through and watching you guys just elaborate on it. It's fantastic.
A couple of things that I want to remind people. I believe there's still time to sign up for the contest at the Del Mar Fair. So
And what contests?
I
It's a
think
battle
I
of
will
the
be
bands?
hosting the Battle of the Bands.
Yes. And they have singer-songwriters, they have poets, they have all kinds of contests. But the main thing is that the prizes are incredible. They give out, I think it's some of the prizes are $3,000 or $5,000
Yeah.
cash, recording time, guitars from Taylor,
Yeah.
just top-notch prizes.
That one
So-
year, man, they gave out like 20 grand. That was when music was the whole theme of
Yeah,
the fair.
yeah.
I'll never forget this
Yeah.
band, a local band that we know, and they were so heartbroken to lose.
Is there particular requirements to
check just
It's kind of I end up hosting the Battle of the Bands. I have, except for last year, for the last 10 years. He's usually a judge. The only complaint I have, and it's partially the rules of the fair, these bands aren't all from San Diego. They could come from anywhere.
it's open to people from anywhere. But for the contest rules, just go online and check it out. The website, they have different things I don't know about.
over
that stuff.
20 bands?
I have no idea.
No, because it used to be more of a. It might be 6 bands.
Oh, wow, okay, that's cool.
Because it was a kind of a thing. Man, God,
Probably
one year
should be all
I
San
listened to all
Diego.
the music and picked the bands that got to be in it.
Really?
And over the years, it's kind of changed. But
Do you feel bad when you don't pick a San Diego band?
oh, I wouldn't pick another. That's why I was kind of pissed I didn't get to pick the bands anymore. Because I would not include a band that's
see.
not.
Sure.
Like,
Okay.
So let's
because
say
part of the prizes is playing the Casbah, and honestly, any band that's ever won the damn contest at the fairgrounds has never gotten to play the Casbah because it never works out. It just doesn't work out. You know?
Well,
the-
this year it will.
Maybe.
so what would be like the criteria of the winning the battle of the bands? Like what would
check
it be?
out they change the rules all
Oh.
the time, so you need to really look
But
at
as
the
far
rules.
as what he likes,
What's
or,
the
I mean, he's
website
going to
for
make
our
the final
viewers?
decision based on watching the 6 bands, and him and 2 other people will vote, and the numbers will be tabulated. And
Except I don't vote. I don't ever do the Battle of the Bands. But that's beside. Like I did that one year. One year I
I
did
thought
it.
you've been a judge a few times.
Battle of the Bands. No, just that one time with you.
Okay.
That's so. Anyway,
Whatever.
be that as it may, there's that, and then also just reminding people that Art Around Adams is coming up, and if there's any jugglers or
Fired.
oh man, can't take this guy anywhere.
Jugglers.
Jugglers, magicians,
mimes.
comedians, mimes, any of that sort of thing.
What do they
Looking
call
for some
those
street-
people that put the hooks in their back and then like hang?
Are you volunteering?
A sadist.
Sadist. Can
So,
we have
looking
a
for that
bounce
as well.
house?
Was that a bounce
Can
house?
we get a bounce house?
If that's what'll make you happy, Tim,
Bird
we'll get you a bounce.
whistlers.
We'll get you a bounce house.
Thank you.
It's okay.
Dog
Thank
trainers.
you.
Funny. Very funny.
Oh, wiener dog races.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wiener
that would
dog
be-
races. That is hilarious.
You know what? That would actually draw a crowd. That's wiener dog races. You know anything with little cute fuzzy animals is going to draw a crowd. That's what
I
brings
love
them
you,
out for
Bart
Tim.
Mendoza. Thanks, Bart.
Bart Mendoza and
you
Tim
have some-
Pyles. This is a dream. As far as me being a content creator, having a show every week, this is a dream come true. I really appreciate you guys coming on to talk
When
to
are you
us.
going to hand me a guitar? I thought this was about noodling. I've been practicing all week, dude. I'm ready to lay down some shred.
Well, if we can bring back that, I'll go
That
inside.
sounded pretty
confident,
Yeah, that
didn't
was
it?
really
Well,
good.
you know
I was,
what?
I'm
What we
lying.
should do-
I'm lying.
We'll get Tim on and we'll do a thing with Fuse
I
Bronx
will
and
go
have
get
him
hey,
come in
Spike, do you think you
and
can
play.
sit in with the Spice Pistols?
Absolutely.
He tried that already.
Miles Spike.
You have a spare cod piece?
You wear fishnets?
What'd you
No,
say?
not in public.
He told me to put some on. I tried them on, looked in the mirror, and I said, "Hell no!" And I gave them the pink ones. And I tried. Yeah,
Hey, but you're a better man for trying them on.
Wow.
they might have felt different when I gave them back.
I'm getting the feeling that these last 2 or 3 minutes might be clipped from the show.
It's a live show.
Never
it's
clipping
impossible.
nothing. This
Comedy
is
gold,
an
man.
uncircumcised live show.
My, oh my.
Balls only.
Balls.
So Tim, do you have any music news, San Diego music news? Anything that somebody's coming out with a record? Who's doing what?
The 19th.
Or
Oh,
Obviously-
Metalachi and the Spice Pistols. are the other-
Ooh,
I
there you
didn't
go.
book that
Fun.
show.
There you go. Yeah. Go
Ah.
ahead, Spike. You're here. Plug away.
Yeah, plug away.
Plug away.
All right, so
That camera right there.
Spice Pistols.
You have your own camera,
Right
Mike.
there.
April 19th
Right there.
at.
He can't hear very well.
Hey,
Metalachi.
Mike. Mike, you have your own camera.
it.
Oh,
You got it?
that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi. I didn't even know.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, I'm at the Moreau every Tuesday
That's
in
what I was gonna
Hillcrest.
say.
And,
Yes, you are.
That's been kind of interesting. Dustin Lost Beach books the band, so I don't always book the bands, and mostly don't book the bands. So it's always kind of a fun crapshoot as to what I'm going to see.
I had a little bit too much fun when I went last week.
Yeah.
You
Oh.
remember me? I was kind of
Were
yelling
you?
and screaming. I came and see Scott
That was 2 weeks
Mathiasen.
ago.
Yeah. I like that guy. He's
Yeah,
great.
he was cool.
But he dropped them.
It's Scott Matheson, by the
What?
way.
Matheson.
Yeah, but
no.
he dropped.
He's
the,
going
I know.
with
He
Mathiasen.
dropped the scent off of it now.
Yeah.
Dip
Got
to
like
dogs.
5 or 6 albums
Yeah.
out already.
He's just
okay.
prolific, so let him do his thing.
Yeah, it's
I'm
all
not
good.
gonna complain.
And
I
then,
can't-
I just
Kiss
can't keep it straight.
we also got Staring at the Sun will be finally finished. We got the artwork finally from Scott Shaw. He had some situation that came up which delayed the cover, but it's the few people that have seen it so far. Oh,
Right.
the China one in front of the Casbah?
Yeah, I love that one.
Okay, the only thing I can give you is that Scott Shaw is best known for drawing things like the Flintstones and Simpsons kind of stuff, and he's done a lot of all those TV commercials from the 70s for breakfast cereals. Most of those were Scott Shaw type things. So this cover is, well, it's the animals at the zoo putting on a concert.
Rad.
It's pretty amazing. So that'll be coming out soon.
I've been putting together on Bandcamp the loudspeaker
Oh, that's
top
really cool.
5 of the month, and this is something that I'm recognition, and it's something separate from the local break, which is a feature that the radio station does. This month we've got this amazing band. These kids are called Fashion Jackson. They're from Point Loma and OB, and they're pushing the boundaries of like bringing this young.
And they're playing Soma.
Yeah, I
stuff
believe
like
they
that.
are.
Yeah, I've
They
heard
put
of
on
that.
their own shows at the Irenic. And right now it's kind of interesting. 91X is playing.
Going out a little bit weird as well because I just saw, I forget the name of the song, but like Jason Mraz singing lead on the new Alan Parsons single.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Out of in San Diego.
Oh, man,
man.
so much going
many
on right
people
now.
live here. And rock stars live here. You know, keep trying to get them all on my show.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Someday, you know,
Someday.
Rob Halford, Ace Frehley. Come on, you guys.
Wow.
They're called Death
dark.
Clock.
Well,
Oh,
yes.
yeah,
Clock.
Mike and
It
Neil.
started with
And
Dark
Death
Angel.
Clock
And
is a
Mike.
band that I can play in San Diego because Mike Keneally of Frank Zappa fame and
Yes.
many other things.
Beer for
He's from San
Dolphins.
Diego. Beer
And-
for Dolphins.
And Mike is going on tour with the Frank Zappa hologram.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah,
That's
that's
right.
right.
I
Okay,
saw about
so
that.
Oh.
I think this is actually kind of a good closing question. Okay, not counting Frank Zappa, if you could bring back one San Diego band as a hologram or musician, who would you bring back? Old ABBA. They
Right,
go.
right.
And in that respect, I'm kind of like, well, that actually makes sense.
In general?
Yeah,
From San Diego
Yeah,
or
from San
I
Diego.
think
Who-
my parents took me to see them at the sports arena. I can say I saw ABBA.
Well, I
San
know
Diego
that
Sports Arena.
isn't the
1977.
original singer of Iron Butterfly, is he still, I think he passed away.
Yeah,
That would be a
They're
strange
they're
down.
now touring again actively, I think. But is there even a surviving
There's
member? It's like the
no-
son of
There's
somebody.
no
in the
original
band.
members anymore. It's but Ron Bushy, the drummer, is
mom
still
dated him.
technically part of the
Right. Okay.
the band. So
I
yeah,
remember they played Adams Avenue Street Fair when there were more of them
that gets
alive.
that gets kind of weird because no original members left in the band. I don't know if you should really be touring anymore. And I see that Foreigner actually go. Hey, this is
Well, there's your,
that's kind of
Bridge.
yeah how you get around that a little bit. But
Ah.
yeah, so I don't know. Let's see. I would actually if I could like do a
Cop dances down there in Chula Vista. They were
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
How cool
I
would
got,
that
I'll
be?
call Thin Lizzy on the hologram.
Well, they're,
but they're not from San Diego.
Oh,
they're
shit.
pretty far
Yeah,
away
so
from
this is a
San
San
Diego.
Diego question.
Yeah, I was
I
going
know,
to
it's
say
such a
beef
hard
farmers,
question.
maybe.
I wonder what the technology is like. That's some strange stuff because that
just
technology
say
could
I-
essentially make anybody.
Well, yeah, because they're using a body double to get most of the motion, right? So all they're really putting is the face on, and that's what the same thing with the deep fake technology that they're doing. It's the same basic thing,
Yeah.
which is where I think it all comes from. But I know that Buddy Holly and Roy Orbison
Yeah,
are
they're
touring
touring.
together next year.
Whoa.
Frank Zappa, the
Yeah, the Dio one's coming out. I gotta say,
Dio, yeah.
I've seen the Dio one. It looked. I didn't like the way it looked. But I've also seen the Roy Orbison one, and it's just okay. I give because
Yeah.
when the Roy Orbison one to me when I saw it, it was okay, and I thought, okay, well this is all right. I see it. He's lit a little bit more than the rest of them, so it's a little bit brighter like that. Okay, I get it, but it looks good. And then he interacted with the band, and I went, okay, all right, cool. He actually turns to me and goes, okay, bring it down a little bit, boys. Like I'm going.
we can like relive a Beatles concert we've never
Exactly,
been
you'll
to.
be able to have it in your living room, and you'll be there.
But it will never happen with the Beastie Boys because they said
No.
any representation.
Well, you know what? Those are usually the
Run
people they do
DMC.
first.
Right.
Those are the people they usually do first.
Run DMC probably could do it with DJ Master J. That's
Yeah.
kind of
Well,
weird. Who's spinning the records?
it's going to be the same way.
Jam
As,
Master J
Jam
was.
Master
it's going to be the same way as it was
Rest in
with
peace.
CDs. First, it's going to be all the big people that make a lot of money. Then it's going to be all the middle people to fill in the
man,
gaps.
It's going to get inundated with
yeah.
holograms.
Yeah, and then
It's
yeah,
gonna be
Holograms
good.
at the
We're
Casbah.
all going to be holograms
Yeah.
pretty soon. It's
Hey,
just the way it's
if,
going to
if
go down.
you go online, there's some people that say
Why
we
do you
are
think
a
they're
hologram.
doing all those 23andMe things, man? That's why we're gonna.
Yeah,
that's
we're
why
just
it's
giving
gonna,
them our
It's gonna get
DNA.
replaced, dude. It's like we're actively doing it. Yeah, just.
Well, on that
Everyone's
note,
getting
ladies and
replaced.
gentlemen,
What? What?
I just,
well, I'm trying to keep it an hour.
Perfect.
Wait, is this an Earth hour or like
A social media hour.
a social media hour?
A social media hour is like an eternity on like Facebook.
maybe.
Exactly.
It kind of is, because in social media, like 30 seconds of somebody not responding is an eternity. Crap, what did I do? What did I do?
I like to make people.
Well, no, seriously. I thought we had a great time. Covered some have quality opinions. If you're trying to get a gig here in town, hearing what they have to say about it and what the expectations are, I even kind of need a little spit polish at that. You know what I mean? And
For whatever it's worth, I'm always open. I always want to hear the news. I always want the email, the phone call. I want a copy of your CD. Please give me a copy of your button because I collect those. But yeah, there's never a time you can't come up to me and go, hey.
Did I give you one?
I do have one, yeah. And you need a Tim Pyles button, by the way. Those are cool.
Yeah.
So
I gotta print up another.
please
batch,
come
so-
up to me and let me know
Thank
about
you,
your
Rodney,
show
for
or
my
whatever
buttons.
because I can't write about stuff unless you tell me about it.
I'm super approachable. I always tell people,
Yeah.
You benefiting yourself 1,000 times if you take the effort to come somewhere where I'm at.
Yeah, you're like
Pretty
a hot
easy.
chick. Just come talk to me.
Casbah, the Moreau, don't. You can email me, but the best thing you could ever do is come to meet me. Find me. Just find me.
And that's a
I always
great
try
way
to
to
find you.
expand your audience anyway. Go out to other band shows and interact with
Yeah.
other bands. You'll make connections that way. They'll come to your shows in theory and vice versa.
And that's that cross-pollination that our city feeds off of, ladies and gentlemen.
Shout out to Foxtide. Foxtide is the young band that came to meet me out in front of the Casbah. So Foxtide.
Oh, the
And
16-year-olds.
let's also mention there's an exciting time that nobody's really addressed, but this is happening all over the country, and rock and roll is going to be saved by the School of Rock.
Wow.
Honestly, I think that's the coolest thing we got going on is something like that. Because we have people like our friends that have kids, and I can see that happening where they get the right influences and they're on their way to being cool.
We have a good friend that does a rock school, Rock and Roll San Diego.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
another great. Any of those programs where these kids are being
Mark
exposed,
Langford.
they're also
Miss Mark.
getting these amazing social skills. That's probably one of the coolest things you could ever do is be in a band.
Yeah, because you learn how to work with others. You
Not
have
on
to.
your computer at home, but like a band.
And
Right.
what you're saying there, the proof is in the pudding. Look at what Gilbert Castellaно's been able to achieve with the Young Lions program.
And it's okay
Yeah.
to disagree with each other. Your bandmates, your family, your best friends.
Yeah.
It's okay. Speak your fucking opinions. Let everyone know what you're feeling. You make better decisions. The opposing person, your drummer, is going to make better decisions if he knows how you feel.
Even a drummer can do good things. Okay, it can happen. It can happen to you too.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you,
Mic
Tim.
drop. No.
Great time. Bart,
Good
always.
times, guys.
Love the jacket, by the way.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you
Thanks
for
to
doing
Tim
this.
and Bart and Mr. Spike Mike there. Thanks for dropping in.
We'll see you next week with Jessica Lerner. Back on the normal program of Theory Thursday. Also, this live chat, this new format, this will be being peppered in every 4 or 5 episodes, just to maybe our liking. Maybe I'm also going to be urging that every time we do a live chat episode, Jason and Dave and I are conspiring, showing you very different content from now on. So the music will resume, Theory Thursday as usual, but episode 3, live chat, oh my God, I don't even know what to do. It's gonna be scary, ladies and gentlemen, but we will see you next week. with
Check out Jessica Lerner's EP. It's very good.
Also, come see us at Winston's in OB.
That's coming out of my ass.
Put
Yes,
down the
yeah,
bong.
I did that for you.
Put down the bong.
We'll do a Theory Thursday meet and
almost
greet
over.
there like we do at every Fuse Box show. So come check it out. Thanks, guys. Thanks for
Cheech,
watching.
Chong, where are you?
Yeah. Dave's not here, man. Oh wait, he's right there.
Dave's in back.
Great job tonight, Dave. All right, everybody.
Supposed to step on it.